Hello and welcome back to BlackJupiter. No, you are in fact not lost, and no, you should have not taken that left turn at Albuquerque. I'm Agent Random, and as someone who constantly plays The World Ends With You, a series possibly more known for its cameos in Kingdom Hearts rather than its own games, I've always kinda wondered why they've never done the reverse and brought Sora into a World Ends With You game. So today, I'm going to read you all my fanfiction covering just that. Ahem. Chapter 1, Threat is...
Who are you? How'd you get here?
Hey, jELeeoo!
This
You know,
is
cool
my
place you
room!
got here.
Why are
what
you
am I doing?
here? Are
I'll
you
just make a quick
stalking
video.
me?
Hi, I'm jELeeoo, and I really like Final Fantasy. While The World Ends With You may be my favorite Square Enix game, Final Fantasy is easily my favorite Square Enix franchise, which I mean, considering who's competing, it's kind of unfair, but shut up. Anyway, with that new Final Fantasy VII game on the horizon, and me finally getting around to playing Final Fantasy XVI, I've been in a real Final Fantasy mood as of late, and it's got me thinking about the man behind the FF7 remakes, Tetsuya Nomura. If you're watching this, then I don't need to tell you who Nomura is, you already know. Now, my introduction to Square Enix games was the Kingdom Hearts series, and my introduction to Final Fantasy was via the characters present within the KH games, like Cloud, Yuffie, Leon, Auron, and so on and so forth. Now, because my first experience with Cloud was in Kingdom Hearts, I was sort of taken back by the fact that Cloud in Final Fantasy VII is just nothing like how he is in Kingdom Hearts, other than the fact that he hates Sephiroth, which... yeah.
Wait, you mean Cloud isn't just a moody guy with a thing for big swords?
Yeah, it's real strange, huh? Anyway, this realization led to another. Tetsuya Nomura doesn't understand Final Fantasy. The Disney worlds and characters are all handled pretty well, but not the Final Fantasy characters. Why? Well, because Nomura's probably seen all the movies present within Kingdom Hearts, but honestly, I doubt Nomura even played a Final Fantasy game until after the release of Kingdom Hearts 2.
What?
So, to celebrate Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming out, I decided I'm going to talk about the many Final Fantasy characters that are in Kingdom Hearts, and I'll even put them in a tier list based on how accurate they are to their original counterparts.
And I'll be explaining to you how these characters function in Kingdom Hearts, because my PhD in Kingdom Hearts lore isn't gonna use itself.
Okay, anyways, let's go! Whee! But actually, there's a pattern with all these characters, with the exception of one. Here's a picture of all the characters that will be discussed for this video. If you comment down below the thing all but one of these characters have in common, as well as your full name and address, I'll mail you my copy of Kingdom Hearts Recoded. No, seriously, you take it, I don't want it anymore.
The very first Final Fantasy characters that players encounter in the series are Tidus and Wakka from Final Fantasy X and Selphie from Final Fantasy VIII. Story-wise, they're all childhood friends to the Kingdom Hearts main trio, Sora, Rikku, and Kairi. As such, everyone's around the same age as each other. They're all in their early teens. When it comes to gameplay, the Final Fantasy kids can be chatted up during the game's prologue, and you can challenge them all to a duel to get combat practice. If you beat all of them, you can even fight all three at once, and yes, it is a badge of honor to be able to defeat all three of them without using the one healing potion that the game gives you at this point.
Meanwhile, in Final Fantasy, they're all very aged up. Wakka especially, bro looks like my racist uncle. Personally, aside from their designs, I think they're fine mostly in terms of personality because there is no personality to change. On Destiny Islands, they just sort of exist and challenge Sora to a match where he can abuse the parry mechanic to reach level 99 before leaving.
There it is! Level 100 didn't leave Destiny Islands. 252 hours, 8 minutes, 9 seconds. Level 100, 0 XP, level 100, guys, without leaving Destiny Islands.
I mean, they're playful, I guess, which, yeah, they're playful in Final Fantasy X and 8. Selphie's like the ditzy comic relief when she's introduced, and Wakka and Tidus are like super into sports. Actually, on that note, I'd really quickly like to mention that the ball Wakka attacks with is called a Blitzball. Blitzball is a fictional sport within Final Fantasy X, and Tidus is basically the Cristiano Ronaldo of his world before it's destroyed by a kaiju and he gets isekai'd into the actual world of Final Fantasy X. How is it in the actual game? It sucks. Anyway, it's also worth noting that both Tidus and Wakka are from coastal towns, and Final Fantasy X as a whole is very water-themed, so I guess it makes sense that they end up somewhere similar in Kingdom Hearts. But then again, there's nothing about Tidus' daddy issues or Wakka's racism.
Hey, you know what they say, all the best cowboys have daddy issue. Wait, what did you just say about Wakka?
Nothing! Oh, and real quickly, Kingdom Hearts 2 predates Dissidia Final Fantasy, and in Kingdom Hearts 2, Selphie says Tidus.
Tidus and Wakka are all wrapped up in their ballgame, and they won't go with me.
So eat shit, anybody who says Tidus. Alright, next is,
What's up?
It says here that Jessie, Biggs, and Wedge are in Kingdom Hearts. Wantz too, but I don't even remember coming across any of them in the game.
Oh yeah, obscure Kingdom Hearts fact. Turns out there were actually Kingdom Hearts games after the first one, and in Kingdom Hearts 2, Biggs and Wantz are shopkeepers in Twilight Town, and Roxas is Biggs' favorite customer. Oh, and there's another Twilight Town NPC named Wallace, who's a reference to Barrett Wallace from Final Fantasy VII.
Why do you know that?
Brain rot.
Nerd. So yeah, throughout Final Fantasy, there are many side characters who share the same names. For example, there's always a character in a Final Fantasy game named Cid. Cid can be an ally, a villain, or a whole-ass party member, like in 7, which is the Cid we see in Kingdom Hearts. We'll get to him later. Like Cid, there are many Final Fantasy games that have a pair of characters named Biggs and Wedge. They're your escorts at the beginning of 6, they're basically Team Rocket in 8, but most notably, they're members of the group Avalanche in 7, along with their friend Jessie. You actually see all 3 of them before you even see Cloud for the first time. While Jessie isn't recurring like the other 2, they were all a very iconic trio when 7 first came out, and still remain so. And so to pay tribute, I guess, Nomura decided to put his own version of the trio as shopkeepers. What confuses me, however, is that one of them is in Radiant Garden while the other 2 are in Twilight Town. However, this random shopkeeper from 10 named Wantz is also a shopkeeper in Twilight Town. Why isn't the trio in Twilight Town and Wantz can be the one in Radiant Garden? Also, who the hell is Wantz? Seriously, I don't even remember this guy from 10.
Hey, can I see that real quick? Hey, these 3 kinda look like Hainer, Pence, and Olette.
My god, you're right.
You know, maybe Nomura was originally gonna have these 3 serve as Roxas' friends, and then just decided to make his own OCs later. Hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, well anyway, Setzer in Kingdom Hearts 2 is—
Wait, he's in this game?
Yeah?
Oh, damn, okay.
Right, so Setzer in Kingdom Hearts 2 is the grand champion of Twilight Town Struggle Tournament, and should you win the tournament as Roxas, you'll have the opportunity to face off against him. His mannerisms and general cocky attitude, as well as him asking Roxas to throw the match, lets you know that he's a man all about showmanship. If he was a YouTuber, all of his thumbnails would have red arrows and circles. What's really cool is that if you lose or throw the match, Setzer will reward you and give the player an alternate prize, which is just straight up better as gear than the prize you get for actually beating him, which teaches Roxas his most valuable lesson, that being fake as a celebrity somehow works. Oh, and you can also fight him later as Sora in the game, but who cares?
Meanwhile, in Final Fantasy VI, he's from Final Fantasy VI. Keep that in mind. Meanwhile, in Final Fantasy VI, Setzer is a man who loves to live a dangerous life and is a frequent gambler. He lives for thrills and is incredibly egotistical, especially when it comes to his fashion sense. You literally can't equip a bandana on him because it's against his fashion sense, which is kind of funny. However, it's a little weird to discuss his personality because there's debate for what his personality is like due to the English and Japanese translations of Final Fantasy VI making him different. Kingdom Hearts Setzer is a bit closer to the Japanese version where he's a bit less eccentric and more resigned, but then again, there's not much to him because he barely speaks in Kingdom Hearts 2. Overall, though, Setzer's presence in Kingdom Hearts 2, although unexpected, is very inoffensive.
Someone else you face off against in the struggle tournament is Vivi from Final Fantasy IX.
Hey, wait!
Whoa, what?
It's time to reveal the thingy I teased. Have you guessed it yet?
Is it a theory that Goofy being the captain of the Royal Knights is just an honorary title to make him feel better because we never once see another Royal Knight in the whole franchise?
No, actually, it's— oh my god, you're right. But that's not what I was talking about. The thing all of these characters, with the exception of one, have in common is that these characters were all designed by Tetsuya Nomura. I know, real surprising. You know why Setzer is the only character from before Final Fantasy VII to appear in Kingdom Hearts? Because Nomura didn't design any characters from Final Fantasies 1 through 5, and the only characters he designed for 6 were Shadow and Setzer. You know why none of the characters from Tactics or 12 aren't in Kingdom Hearts? Because Nomura didn't work on those games, thank god. The only exception to all these characters is Vivi. See, after Final Fantasy VII, there was pretty much a new Final Fantasy game every 2 years. This was because after 7, the dev teams were split into 2. One would work on 8 and the other on 9. Take a guess which one Nomura worked on. But as this was going on, there was also a lot of questionable ways to handle Square's lead franchise being discussed at Square offices, which eventually led to the company entering red ink for the first time in their history. What saved the company was the merger with rival company Enix, thus leading to the company being renamed to Square Enix and the release of Final Fantasy X. But still, this was too much for the series' creator Hironobu Sakaguchi, and thus he decided that after the release of Final Fantasy IX, he'll be leaving the company. Thus, Final Fantasy IX was basically made as a grand send-off to the entire series as a whole, seeing as 10 was a dramatic turning point from the series. Now, you might be wondering why I'm saying all this, and the answer is simple. Vivi in Kingdom Hearts pisses me off. Final Fantasy IX is just straight up the best Final Fantasy game. Everything this game does is so perfect to the point where even so much as thinking about the ending makes me all teary-eyed. Don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it. The main reason for this is Vivi. Vivi is without a doubt the best character in the game. I love him so goddamn much. He is a precious little bean. I would do anything for him. He's my profile picture for PlayStation. So when I say that Vivi's handling in Kingdom Hearts 2 makes me sad, you gotta understand that I'm being serious. I guess the weird things that happen to him in the struggle tournament is just because he kind of looks like a Heartless, but he turns into a group of nobodies, so... what? Also, maybe the whole fighting multiples of him is a reference to his origins as a black mage. But look, when we're introduced to Vivi in Final Fantasy IX, it perfectly shows off two things. One, he's a child and thus acts very childish, and he has very pure ideals. His whole character arc throughout Final Fantasy IX is all about him growing up and seeing the world for what it is, as well as coming to terms with his unfortunate fate. But something that never changes is his pure ideals. Even after learning and accepting all of this, he still wishes to protect everyone because to him, above all else, life is precious. He is a paragon of light and innocence, and I'm telling you that Vivi being all chummy with Seifer, one of the main antagonists of Final Fantasy VIII, and basically a huge bully in Kingdom Hearts 2, he talks like Bulk and Skull from Modern Power Rangers. And the fact that he maliciously beats the fuck out of both of you and Seifer, even if he's possessed, is too far for me. Making Vivi even associate with mean people is so unlike him. I seriously hold Vivi so close to my heart that this is just unacceptable. Fuck you, Nomura, for making Vivi and Seifer best pals.
Speaking of Seifer, at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, Seifer and his posse serve as a rival gang to Roxas' posse. The rivalry leads to...
That was undeniable proof that we totally owned you, lamers.
questionable dialogue, to say the least. Seifer's main characteristic is his massive ego, as well as his superiority conflicts over pretty much everyone that he meets.
Yeah, in Final Fantasy VIII, he's also a cocky brat, but less in a...
That was undeniable proof that we totally owned you, lamers.
that way. Him and Leon, are two sides of the same coin. They both wish to work for the weird military school they attend and are both the strongest students around. But while Leon is a loner, Seifer has his two goons whose name I can't remember always following him around. What confuses me is how, in Kingdom Hearts, he claims to be some protector, but he's basically just a bully from a Darman video. Oh wait, the wiki explains it right here. Never mind, we're good. Still, in Final Fantasy VIII, we can actually see him want to do the right thing, at least a little bit before he gets gaslit into being a villain. But the one thing these two share that are spot on is that they're both horribly written, which is why I said most of this from the wiki page, because the less time I spent thinking about Final Fantasy VIII, the better I feel. Also, why does he look like that in Kingdom Hearts? He looks like a Street Fighter character, not a Final Fantasy character. But you know what? Honestly, I prefer the Kingdom Hearts version of Seifer, because anytime he opens his mouth, chances are I'll laugh my ass off.
Good afternoon, slackers.
Anyway, moving on.
Wait, what about Seifer's posse? You know, Fu and Rai.
What about them?
Zack in Birth by Sleep appears in the Olympus Coliseum, the Hercules world. He wasn't the only planned Final Fantasy rep since Laguna Loire? Actually don't know how to pronounce her name. I think it's Loire. If I'm wrong, let me know, I guess. He wasn't the only planned Final Fantasy rep, since Laguna Loire was also intended to appear in a different world, but got cut early on. Anyway, Birth by Sleep takes place 10 years before the first Kingdom Hearts game, so it depicts a time period of young Hercules. Zack is young too, presumably so we can meet an adult Zack in a later game, which will definitely happen, right? Right? Well, while I keep waiting on that one, Zack's story follows him trying to become a hero. First, he trains with Ventus, then he competes in a tournament against Terra and very much tries to kill him because Hades manipulates darkness in Zack's heart, something Terra is and will continue to be familiar with. Oh, and also he wants to smooch Aqua.
I become a hero, then we go on a date.
I can't make any promises.
Something cool about Zack is that his theme is a new arrangement of the Crisis Core theme. Aside from One-Winged Angel's numerous appearances and Who Am I appearing as an Easter egg in KH1's Atlantica, this is one of the few times that a Final Fantasy song appears in Kingdom Hearts. So, my gelatinous friend, how is Zack in Final Fantasy?
He's pretty accurate. Yep, honestly, I have no complaints about Zack from Final Fantasy VII. Zack Fair is a very important side character in Final Fantasy VII and is even the protagonist of the prequel Crisis Core, so of course it makes sense that he's the only Final Fantasy character in the Kingdom Hearts prequel. Now, I haven't actually played the game, but I know the basic plot structure and I've seen a lot of cutscenes and I even watched a whole lot more for this video. And frankly, from what I can gather, this seems like a really good game. It's just that the dialogue is a little weird. Who made this game? Oh no! Well, yeah, it looks like when this game started development is when Nomura finally played a Final Fantasy game. He played 7, and only 7. I don't think he's played any other Final Fantasy game, not even 15. Anyway, yeah, of course he's accurate to his counterpart, considering they're both being written by the same guy. He's a very cheery ladies' man with a heart of gold whose main motivation is to be a hero, just like his idol Sephiroth, which, yeah, that goes well. Anyway, yeah, Zack is pretty much spot on, and he even does the weird squats in Birth by Sleep. Oh my god, he's literally me.
This is my story, and you're not part of it.
Oh, he just like me. He just like me for real.
Hey, are you okay?
I am the Lord of the Dead!
Huh. No wonder no one wants to die.
He's totally me.
Okay, while he's busy doing that, let me just read from his notes. This is Auron from Final Fantasy X. Aside from the removal of his sunglasses and facial hair, he is relatively accurate. He's a very stoic man who, despite his looks, is always looking out for the greater good. I mean, the second he sold to serve the Lord of the Underworld and gaming's second best Hades. Wait, who's the first?
Hades from Kid Icarus Uprising.
Oh, well, when he's told to serve the Lord of the Underworld and the iconic trio enters the picture, Auron immediately retaliates and helps Sora, Donald, and Goofy in that order.
Sora. Donald. Goofy.
Escape the Underworld, purely out of kindness. He also constantly references his iconic lines from Final Fantasy X like he's trying to trigger your nostalgia.
This is my story. This is it. This is your story.
This is my story. It'll go the way I want it. Or I'll end it here.
It seems we were fated to meet. Maybe you need a guardian.
Yuna,
Sir.
I wish to become your guardian. Do you accept?
Okay, back to you now.
So yeah, Auron's pretty well handled, but I have a few questions, Nomura. Why is Auron called the biggest, baddest guy around by Hades? The worst Auron did was allow his friend to sacrifice himself in order to save the entire world. Everything else he does in both Final Fantasy X and Kingdom Hearts 2 are all good intentioned. It makes no sense for him to be in the underworld. It's almost as if you didn't play the damn game, Nomura! Also, I think the fact that he was plucked out of the underworld in the first place is just a reference to how he's an unsent in Final Fantasy X, which is basically a ghost who just stuck around because they felt like it.
Alright, who's next?
Let's see. Oh, them.
Oh yeah, I always wondered, who are these girls? If I had to guess, these three must be like from a handheld spin-off with a different art style where you fly around and stuff as a bunch of fairies. Wait... What?
Don't worry about it. So yeah, the main trio from Final Fantasy X-2, you heard that right, not Final Fantasy XII, but the sequel to 10, 10-2, made it into Kingdom Hearts 2. This iconic trio consists of Yuna, Paine, and Rikku.
Wasn't Rikku going to be in Kingdom Hearts 1? Well, whatever. At least she managed to recuperate her role in the series by Kingdom Hearts 2. Wait, I'm sorry!
Both Yuna and Both Yuna and Rikku were party members in the original Final Fantasy X. Hell, Yuna was basically the main character of that game. But Paine is exclusive to X-2, and for some reason the journal says all three of them first appeared in X-2. Do you still doubt me when I say he hasn't played a Final Fantasy game?
Man, if they can't keep the first appearance entry straight for the Disney cast, then they sure as heck are gonna get turned around for Final Fantasy.
In X-2, the trio is a group of sphere hunters, which are basically pirates on the lookout for treasure aboard their airship, the Gullwing, which is what most of the people took to calling them in Kingdom Hearts, even though in Final Fantasy their trio has an official name of YRP, or Eurype, because for some reason X-2 decided it wanted to be heavily inspired by J-pop and magical girl animes. I'm not complaining, honestly. However, in Kingdom Hearts they act more like mercenaries, which is strange considering that's Cloud's job. They're introduced by trying to get information from Sora on behalf of Maleficent, who hired them, which, like Vivi, is a little suspicious because she literally has Mal in her name. But you know what? Yuna was raised in a world where a guy who can do this is praised to be the Messiah. Wow, he's so cool. I sure hope he does it. Well, oh no, I can't believe he was the bad guy all along. Oh my god. Anyway, they stop working for Maleficent, not because they realize that she's evil, but because she rips them off. I can't do this anymore. I can't. Random, you take over.
Okay. Well, after they get ripped off, they apologize to Sora before ultimately working for Leon's crew. First under the guise of getting treasure, but then it's just to spite the organization. What I really want to know is why they are fairies, and why are they so short, just like me. Okay, really?
Sorry, I know that was a low blow.
Do not test me.
Oh, come on, Random. It was only a little joke. Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, but seriously, why are they fairies?
Nomura felt like it. Oh, on that note, did you know that Rikku was originally meant to be in Kingdom Hearts 1, taking over the role that Yuffie plays? Nomura ultimately went against it, considering that Sora basically grew up alongside Tidus and Wakka, and, you know, her name is Rikku. It will make a little sense in Japanese because Final Fantasy Riku's name is pronounced a little differently, but it still would just be confusing to a lot of newcomers. At least it makes more sense in Kingdom Hearts 2 because they don't say her name, like, ever, and she has her two friends with her as well. Speaking of Yuffie, would you like to do the honors?
Sure! Yuffie is very peppy in Kingdom Hearts 1, and that's pretty much all that can be said about her. But then again, in Final Fantasy VII, she's very naive and peppy, and that's pretty much all that there is to say about her there because she was an optional party member. Wait, is that true?
Yeah. Much like another FF7 party member who somehow made his way into this video, you could play the entirety of Final Fantasy VII without even knowing she exists. It seems like both her and the other party member I mentioned will be part of the story of Rebirth, though. Man, this is taking too long. Hey, Random, do you want to do a lightning round?
Sure. What?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. For some reason, Aerith in Kingdom Hearts comes off as very soft-spoken and is basically just a lore fountain in both games, except for that one conversation she has with Cloud in Kingdom Hearts 2, but even then, she's soft-spoken there. In Final Fantasy VII, she's the best character. Cry about it, Tifa fans. And she has the personality of an incredibly kind-hearted tomboy who has a lot of humor to her. At least they did her justice in the FF7 remake.
Tifa in Kingdom Hearts only really likes to kick walls and fret over Cloud, so there's not much to say about her personality. I mean, yeah, she cared about Cloud in Final Fantasy VII as well. Big surprise.
Cid, or should I say Cid Highwind, hey, you notice how Rikku wants to name the raft after Cid's last name in Kingdom Hearts 1? Is an engineer like no other, which is why, of course, he helped you with the gummy ship in Kingdom Hearts. He's also a potty-mouthed wife-beater.
Excuse me?
Did I stutter?
Hold on, so you're telling me that a man who constantly swears and canonically hits his wife is allowed to be in an E-rated game, but not the guy who looks like this?
Yep. Okay. Why the hell is his name Leon? He specifically goes out of his way to denounce the name Squall.
I think you might have overdone it, Squall.
That's Leon.
And why does his hair look like that? He looks stupid.
What's wrong with your face?
Thankfully, his hair is better in Kingdom Hearts 2. Also, why is he taking some sort of, leadership role? For a lot of Final Fantasy VIII, you're just following orders. Why has he partied up with all the Final Fantasy VII characters, too? Shouldn't that be the job of Cloud? You know, the main protagonist of Final Fantasy VII? Speaking of Cloud, I think it's finally time. I get why you may be wondering how I could think that Nomura hasn't played a Final Fantasy game when he at least gets some facts about those characters right.
Yeah, like how else would he know about Setzer's flashiness and gambling life if he hadn't played Final Fantasy VI? Or that whole thing with Auron being unsent?
It's simple, really. See, when he's asked to design a character, he's told a little bit about them.
And?
That's all. Like, Square wrote the fact that Setzer is a flashy gambler first, and Nomura designed him with that personality in mind. But like with Auron, I think he designed him with the bare bones knowledge of the basic character outline and then saw his own design and went, man, he looks badass. He's probably some kind of punished warrior with a dark past. Which just isn't true. I don't even think he played a Final Fantasy game when he was working on Advent Children, because that movie is, real bad.
Okay, so you're good.
I do think he read a basic plot synopsis, though. I think that the first time he actually played a Final Fantasy game was after Kingdom Hearts 2 was released in order to prepare for Crisis Core's development. It'd be kind of awkward if he was hired as a director for a prequel to a game he never played. And it's not like he was the sole director of Crisis Core. He didn't come up with the idea, but he damn well saw it through. And I don't think he's played any other Final Fantasy games since. It's why his choices with Versus 13 were so baffling they had to kick him off the project. It's why he's doing the 7 remake and not a remake of any other Final Fantasy. He may have been responsible for Strangers of Paradise, but I still don't think he's played Final Fantasy 1. That game's real bad. And the main reason I think all of this is because of how Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 handle Cloud and Sephiroth.
Okay, I remember trying to read up on this one a long time ago. From what I remember, both Cloud and Sephiroth used to work for Soldier, but Sephiroth had like some real mommy issues or something, so after spending a while in like a cocoon, I think, he gives Aerith a day off and tries to kill a whole bunch of people. Also, he has a rivalry going on with Cloud, where Cloud views him as like the dark manifestation of himself. Okay, how'd I do?
The Soldier thing and mommy issues thing is correct, but everything else is wrong.
Oh.
You see, Kingdom Hearts decided to start the trend of making Cloud emo and edgy. In Kingdom Hearts 1, he's always brooding and going on about how he's struggling with the darkness. Now, Final Fantasy VII, Cloud's just a normal-ass guy. Cloud's entire character arc in Final Fantasy VII is him learning to get over himself and find a new identity. He is so normal that at the end of the game, right before you fight Sephiroth, Cid makes fun of Cloud for talking so casually. The only thing not normal about his personality is that he has some PTSD. I mean, sure, he's a little antisocial, especially towards the beginning of the game, but you need to understand that when I say antisocial, I don't mean he's an emo, edgy loner. I mean he genuinely has trouble connecting with other people because of the events at Nibelheim. But you know someone that is an emo, edgy brat? Squall! Why is Squall hanging out with all the Final Fantasy VII characters while Cloud is alone brooding over nothing? Shouldn't their roles be reversed? Also, for some reason, Cloud isn't even wearing his clothes in Kingdom Hearts 1. That's right, the character that defined Nomura's unique sense of fashion isn't even wearing his iconic outfit in Kingdom Hearts 1. He is wearing Vincent's outfit. Vincent, the other optional party member in Final Fantasy VII. The outfit makes sense on Vincent because he's basically a Lovecraftian monster, but here you are, Nomura, putting his outfit on Cloud for some reason. Oh, and also, I can't stand the whole, Joker speech that Sephiroth gives Cloud in Kingdom Hearts 2. You see, Cloud, you and I aren't so different. No, you are not the same. Sephiroth has nothing to do with Cloud. He is not the dark part of Cloud's heart. They aren't linked in any way. They are their own people. In fact, when Cloud and Sephiroth meet for the first time in Final Fantasy VII outside of flashbacks, Sephiroth literally acts out the Thanos,
I don't even know who you are
meme. He doesn't even remember Cloud. And yet Nomura is so convinced that they're eternally linked together that it's made its way into the dumpster fire that is Advent Children. Yeah, don't think I forgot about that, Nomura. And now it's leaked into even Sephiroth's Smash announcement trailer. And of course in Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's okay for Cloud to be desperately pursuing Sephiroth. A huge part of his character was how badly he wanted to be like his idol Sephiroth and how the incident that ruined Cloud's life was caused by his personal hero. That's fine. But on the other hand, Sephiroth should not care about Cloud ever, because he is that far below him.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
He is so much more interested in Aerith than Cloud in Final Fantasy VII. You know, in Final Fantasy VII, it takes a really long time before we even see Sephiroth. He's spoken of like some sort of legend, and as the game progresses, we only get to see the aftermath of what he's done, so that when he finally does show up, you know things are getting serious. Because the writers of Final Fantasy VII know how to write a story. You don't even fight him until the final battle. Every other time, he makes you fight another Genova cell because you are simply not worthy of his time or effort. He only starts to actually acknowledge you when you actually start messing up his plans. But even then, he still doesn't view you as a threat until the very end of the game during his boss fight. And also, this isn't literal, Nomura. Well, it kind of is, but still, it's meant to serve as more of a figurative battle of Cloud finally moving on from all the grief that Sephiroth has caused him. But scratch that, in the remake he shows up all the time to call Cloud a poopy head and act like your annoying older brother teasing you for being worse at Mario Kart than he is. And also, there's the weird ghost shit in the remake as well, and frankly we'd be here all day if I talked about that. Both Cloud and Sephiroth, and their whole deal with being agents of light and dark in Kingdom Hearts is the stupidest thing, other than all of Birth by Sleep. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the base game of Kingdom Hearts 3 has no Final Fantasy characters. This is just a reminder that Kingdom Hearts is a collaboration of Disney and Final Fantasy. What's next? No Disney Worlds in Kingdom Hearts 4? Nomura just clearly doesn't care about Final Fantasy. But yeah, thank God we're finally done and I can do the outro now.
Hey, you forgot about the Moogles. And what about all the gummy ships based off Final Fantasy characters? Or how a bunch of characters from World of Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy Record Keeper technically canonically exist somewhere in the Kingdom Hearts timeline because they appear as medals in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross.
Huh? Oh yeah, well, for the mobile game stuff, I think it was just the higher-ups at Square trying to advertise, and as for the Moogles, yeah, they're pretty much the same. Here's a screenshot explaining it a bit more.
Okay, so now that we're done discussing the characters, here's the accuracy tier list. Pretty cool, huh?
It is pretty cool, but you know what's even cooler?
What?
The BlackJupiter video on the World Ends With You characters in Kingdom Hearts, because apparently Nomura actually played that game and they're handled pretty well.
Aw, you flatter me.
Yeah. Now can you get the hell out of my house now?
Oh, yeah, I'll just go and get lost now. Goodbye.
So yeah, that's all the Final Fantasy characters within Kingdom Hearts that I know of. So, where does this lead us in terms of Final Fantasy's future? Or should I say, Final Fantasy's future with Nomura? It fucking sucks. I hate this man so much for ruining Final Fantasy. He ruined my game. He ruined 15. He ruined 7. He somehow managed to retroactively ruin 1. Stop letting this man overstep his bounds. Stop hiring him as a creative director. Fucking fire this man. Ah! Tune in next time where I rant about a man who will never even know that I exist. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Special shout out to Agent Random and BlackJupiter. I love their videos so much. They mostly just talk about The World Ends With You, but a few other Square Enix games. And yeah, you should go check them out. Please. Yeah.